Alright, let's take a look at triggers and how we could set one up, how they're used. So what's a trigger? It's a special kind of stored proc. It executes automatically when a user attempts the specified data modification statement on a specified table. Alright, that sounds, that's certainly Microsoft-ish, and that it's a whole lot more complicated than what a trigger does. Trigger fires, alright, in response to an event. Alright, that's what a trigger does. A trigger is associated with a single table or view. A trigger can be set to fire. Fire is just the term they use. It simply means execute. Insert, update, or delete, or just one of those, or all three of those. Again, here's our great fire word. A trigger can be set to fire on an action of a query, after or instead of an action of a query. Instead of. Alright, a table can have multiple triggers. Sure it can. Views can't have after triggers, that's great, and triggers can be encrypted, and the list goes on of some things that you'll want to look at before you go throwing a trigger on a production table. This is just an overview of what triggers are and how they can be applied. Alright, you may want to do a little more research on your own if you're going to start throwing triggers on your system, because there are some performance implications. So let's take a look at some code here. So in this example we have our massive table I called trig test I created, and we're going to do an insert into trig test. Yep, that's great. And let's do how about Mike's mail, and we want to look at what Mike, I only want this. There we go. Boop, boop, boop. And let's, so we got Fred and Mike twice. Alright, that's great. And you notice that the marital status here is married, but it's lowercase. We don't want that. For whatever reason, we want it to be uppercase. Alright? So we can create a trigger to fire. So when someone inserts or updates this statement, alright, it puts a the marital status in uppercase. Alright, so here we go. So we're going to create trigger. That's pretty straightforward stuff there. Again, the naming convention, whatever you want to use in your organization, just make sure you keep it so that everyone understands it, document it, and use it over and over. Don't come up with new conventions at every database and every application you build. So here, trg trig test on MS. What was MS? Marital status. I don't even know. Obviously, I've not used this naming convention. I just made it up. Underscore insert update on. All right, the on's telling us what table we're doing it on. After it fires, right? There's the key word. After the insert happens. All right, for insert update as update. All right, we're going to update the what table? We're going to set the marital status column, right, in question, to upper. All right, we want upper marital status with test ID. Here we go. In, select test ID from inserted. All right, so there we go. So now when we go to Sally, she's a female. Yep, come on. Oh, we can do it. We can do it. There we go. F, lowercase. What's going to happen? Boink. All right, so you look. Well, why was one row? It looks like two rows were inserted. No, one row was inserted, the trigger fired, and altered Sally. So Sally is now a big F. No, poor Sally. Alright, so that is the basis of a trigger, what we can do with it. That's pretty cool. There's a lot more you can do with triggers. Obviously, here we just want our feet, so to speak, on how we can, how triggers can make your life and your code, right, cleaner. The cleaner the better. Alright, you could also do something. You could put a trigger on. Notice how Fred here is capitalized, and Mike, double Mike, which ooh, we're breaking some rules here, aren't we? Breaking some normalization rules. Alright, double Mike here isn't, and Sally isn't. Alright, so we could create a trigger to fire the same scenario and to capitalize the first letter of our name here if we wanted to do that. Alright, there's a lot of things you can do with triggers. However, again, you need to be cautious because there are some performance impacts, and so you want to test them pretty rigorously. Did I say that correctly? Yeah, I think I did. before you throw them on a production system. All right, and that is the basics of a trigger.